The temperature had dropped to 18 degrees by the time Marcus Rivera pulled his pickup truck into the parking lot behind Chen's Market. December 23rd, and the whole city seemed to be holding its breath for Christmas. But Marcus wasn't thinking about presents or decorations. He was thinking about getting home to his 4-year-old daughter, Sophia, before she fell asleep without her goodnight story. The market was closed, had been for hours. Marcus had only stopped because his headlights caught something strange near the loading dock. A pile of what looked like blankets, but something about it nagged at him. As a former paramedic, he'd learned to trust those instincts. He parked and approached slowly, his breath forming clouds in the frigid air. That's when he heard it. A tiny whimper, barely audible over the wind. "Hello," Marcus called out. "Is someone there?" The pile of blankets shifted. 2 small faces emerged, identical in every way except for the terror in their eyes. Twin girls, maybe 9 years old, with matted blonde hair and cheeks red from cold. "Please," one of them whispered, her voice hoarse. "Please don't call them. We'll go somewhere else. Just don't send us back." Marcus's heart stopped. "Back where? Who left you here?" The other twin spoke, her words tumbling out in a rush. "Our uncle. He said we're too expensive. Said nobody wants broken kids. We've been here since this morning." Since this morning. That meant these children had been in 18-degree weather for over 12 hours. "I'm not sending you anywhere except somewhere warm," Marcus said firmly, pulling off his jacket and wrapping it around both girls. "Come on. My truck has heat. We'll figure everything else out after you're safe." The girls didn't move at first, clearly expecting a trap. But the wind howled, and they were shivering so violently their teeth chattered. Finally, the more protective twin took her sister's hand and stood. "What are your names?" Marcus asked as he helped them into his truck, blasting the heat. "I'm Jade," said the one who'd spoken first. "This is Jasmine." "Marcus," he replied, studying them in the dashboard light. Now that they were warming up, he could see the bruises, yellowish marks on their arms, a faded black eye on Jasmine. His jaw clenched. "When did you last eat?" "Yesterday," Jade said quietly. "Uncle Ray gave us cereal before he brought us here." Marcus started the engine. "We're going to my house. You'll eat, get warm, and sleep somewhere safe. Tomorrow we'll figure out the next steps. Okay? Why are you helping us?" Jasmine asked, her voice trembling. "Nobody helps us." The question broke something in Marcus. "Because someone should have helped you a long time ago. And because my daughter would be very disappointed in me if I drove past 2 kids who needed help." 20 minutes later, Marcus carried a sleeping Sophia from the couch to her bedroom while his neighbor, Mrs. Kim, stood in the kitchen with her mouth open, staring at the 2 shivering girls wrapped in blankets at the table. "Marcus, what?" "Found them behind the market. Abandoned. Can you stay while I make some calls?" Mrs. Kim, bless her, didn't ask more questions. She just moved into action, heating soup and finding warm clothes while Marcus called his former partner at the fire department. "Tony, I need advice. I just found 2 abandoned kids, and I need to know what to do that keeps them safe, but doesn't send them into a bad situation." Over the next hour, with Tony's guidance, Marcus navigated the system, calling the police non-emergency line, documenting everything, and requesting that Child Protective Services be contacted in the morning rather than tonight. The responding officer, a kind woman named Ramirez, agreed to let the girls stay with Marcus overnight given the circumstances and his spotless background as a former first responder. By midnight, Jade and Jasmine were clean, fed, and tucked into Marcus's bed. He'd sleep on the couch. But before they fell asleep, Marcus noticed something both girls clutched. Small silver lockets they refused to let go of. "What are those?" he asked gently. Jasmine's fingers tightened around hers. "Our mom gave them to us. Before she died," Jade finished, her voice flat. "Car accident when we were 6. Then we had to go live with Uncle Ray. He wasn't nice," Jasmine whispered. "He was Mom's brother, but he said we reminded him too much of her. Said we cried too much, ate too much, cost too much." Marcus sat on the edge of the bed, his heart breaking. "You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing that happened to you was your fault. You understand that?" Both girls stared at him like he was speaking a foreign language. "Get some sleep," Marcus said softly. "You're safe now, I promise. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like the video. Your comment means more than you think. It inspires me to keep creating stories that heal, teach, and move people." Sophia's delighted shriek woke everyone at 6 a.m. "Daddy! Daddy! There are girls in your bed." Marcus rushed in to find his daughter bouncing excitedly while Jade and Jasmine sat up, looking terrified. "Sophia, gentle," Marcus warned. "These are our guests, Jade and Jasmine." "Hi!" Sophia beamed, completely unaware of the tension. "I'm Sophia. Do you want to see my dinosaur collection? I have 23 dinosaurs. Want to play?" The twins looked at each other, then at Sophia's open, friendly face. Slowly, Jade smiled. "Okay." Within an hour, all 3 girls were playing in Sophia's room while Marcus made pancakes and tried to figure out his next move. The CPS caseworker was coming at 10. What would happen then? When Mrs. Kim arrived with donations of clothes from her granddaughters, she pulled Marcus aside. "Those girls trust you. I saw it in their eyes last night. Whatever you're thinking, don't let the system separate them or send them somewhere awful." "I'm just one guy with a 4-year-old, Marcus protested. "I work full-time as a construction supervisor. How could I possibly?" "You're a good man who already loves those girls," Mrs. Kim interrupted. "I see it on your face. The rest is just logistics." The caseworker, a weary-looking woman named Patricia Santos, arrived exactly at 10. She interviewed the twins separately, documented their bruises, and reviewed their file. Their uncle, Raymond Carter, reported them as runaways, she told Marcus privately. "Claimed they stole money and ran away yesterday morning." Marcus's hands clenched into fists. "They were abandoned. Left in 18-degree weather for 12 hours. "I believe you," Patricia said quietly. "And Officer Ramirez's report supports your account. Raymond Carter is being investigated. But I need to place these girls in a foster home immediately. What if I applied to be their foster parent?" The words came out before Marcus could stop them. Patricia looked surprised. "Mr. Rivera, foster certification takes time. Background checks, home studies, training. I'm a former paramedic with a spotless record. My home is safe, I have a stable job, and those girls need stability, not to be bounced around the system. Patricia studied him for a long moment. Emergency foster placements can be expedited in certain circumstances. Let me make some calls. The emergency placement was approved within 48 hours. A Christmas miracle, Patricia called it. Marcus became the temporary guardian of Jade and Jasmine, while their uncle faced criminal charges for abandonment and child endangerment. The first week was chaos. Sophia was thrilled to have sisters, but Jade and Jasmine were wary, waiting for the other shoe to drop. They asked permission for everything, to eat, to use the bathroom, to speak. They flinched at sudden movements. They hoarded food in their bedroom. Marcus found Jade crying in the bathroom one night, her locket open. Inside was a photo of a young woman with the same blonde hair and gentle eyes. "That's my mom," Jade whispered. Her name was Isabel. She was the best mom in the world. "I'm sure she was," Marcus said gently. "And I bet she'd be proud of how you've taken care of your sister. Uncle Ray said she was weak, that she made bad choices." Jade's voice broke. "He said if she'd been smarter, she'd still be alive." Marcus knelt down. "Your uncle was wrong and cruel. Your mother loved you so much she gave you those lockets so you'd always have her with you. That's not weakness, that's love." Christmas came quietly. Marcus couldn't afford much on his salary, but he made sure each girl had gifts under the tree: warm clothes, art supplies, books. When Jade and Jasmine saw presents with their names, they cried. "Why are you doing this?" Jasmine asked. "We're not even yours." Sophia, in her innocent 4-year-old wisdom, grabbed both girls' hands. "But you're my sisters now, and Daddy always says family takes care of family." Marcus met Jade's eyes over Sophia's head. In them he saw something shift, the tiniest crack in the armor. By February, the girls had started calling him Marcus instead of Mr. Rivera. They'd stopped asking permission to eat. They laughed at dinner. They helped Sophia with her alphabet. But they still clutched those lockets like lifelines and still had nightmares about being left behind. Marcus hired a lawyer, a family law attorney named Helen Park, who specialized in foster care cases. She dug into the twins' history while Marcus focused on providing stability. What Helen uncovered was heartbreaking. Isabel Carter had been a single mother working 2 jobs to support her daughters. She died in a car accident 3 years ago, leaving the girls with her only sibling, Raymond. He'd taken custody not out of love, but to access the monthly survivor benefits Isabel had set up. He was collecting money meant for their care while neglecting them, Helen explained during a meeting in March. "We have documentation of missed school days, no medical care, and neighbors reporting the girls were often alone. Can we get permanent custody?" Marcus asked. "That's complicated. You're not a blood relative. The court will want to reunite them with family if possible." The only family they had abandoned them behind a dumpster. Helen nodded. "I'll build the case. But Marcus, you need to understand this could take months, maybe longer. And there's no guarantee." Marcus looked at the living room where all 3 girls were building a blanket fort. Sophia was bossing her sisters around with authoritative 4-year-old energy, while Jade and Jasmine patiently followed her instructions, small smiles on their faces. "I don't care how long it takes," Marcus said firmly. "Those girls are home. I'm not letting them go." In April, something strange happened. Marcus noticed Jade and Jasmine whispering together, looking at him when they thought he wasn't watching. Finally, on a Saturday morning, they approached him while Sophia was at a friend's house. "Marcus," Jade started, her voice trembling, "we need to show you something." Both girls opened their lockets. Inside Jasmine's was the photo of their mother, beautiful, blonde, maybe 25 years old. But inside Jade's locket was something different. A photo of a young man, dark-haired with warm brown eyes. Marcus stared at the photo, at the man's face, at the distinctive scar above his eyebrow, the exact same scar Marcus had from a childhood accident. He couldn't finish the sentence. "Our dad," Jasmine whispered. "We don't remember him much. Mom said he was a good man, but they weren't ready to be together. She said she left because she thought it was best for everyone." Marcus's hands shook as he took the locket. It was him, 18 years old, before he became a paramedic, before Sophia, before everything. He remembered that photo. Isabel had taken it at the beach, the summer before she disappeared from his life without explanation. "Your mother's name was Isabel Carter?" he asked, his voice barely audible. Jade nodded. "She never told us much about our dad, just that his name was Marcus, that he was kind, and that she hoped we'd meet him someday." The room tilted. Marcus sat down heavily. He'd dated Isabel for 2 years when they were young. 18, 19, madly in love but too young to know what that meant. Then one day she was just gone. He tried to find her, but she'd moved, changed her number, disappeared completely. He'd never known she was pregnant. "How old are you?" he asked, even though he already knew. "We turned 9 in February," Jasmine said. 9 years. 9 years since Isabel left. 9 years of raising daughters he'd never known existed while he'd been living his own life. Meeting Sophia's mother, becoming a father to one daughter while completely unaware of 2 others. "Why didn't you tell me?" Marcus asked. "When I first found you, why didn't you show me this?" "We were scared," Jade admitted. "Uncle Ray told us our dad didn't want us. That Mom left because our dad said we'd ruin his life. We thought if you knew who we really were, you'd send us away too." Marcus pulled both girls into a fierce hug. "That's not true. None of that is true. Your mother." He choked on the words. "She must have had reasons for leaving. But I would never have turned away from you if I'd known." "So," Jasmine's voice was tiny, "are you mad at us for not telling you?" "Mad? No, sweetheart. I'm devastated that I lost 9 years with you. But I'm grateful beyond words that I found you when you needed me most." Helen Park ordered DNA tests, just a formality now, but necessary for the legal case. When the results came back, it was official. Jade and Jasmine were Marcus's biological daughters. The court case became simpler and infinitely more complicated. As their biological father, Marcus had rights. But he'd also been completely absent from their lives, through no fault of his own, but absent nonetheless. The judge, a stern woman named Margaret Cho, called all parties into her chambers. "Mr. Rivera," she said, "I've reviewed this case extensively. You didn't know these children existed. Their mother chose not to tell you. Their uncle abandoned them. You found them by chance and took them in. Now you're seeking permanent custody." "Yes, Your Honor." "Why?" You already have a young daughter. You work full-time. Why take on 2 more children with significant trauma? Marcus looked at Jade and Jasmine, sitting between him and Helen. Because they're mine. Not just biologically, though that matters. But they're mine because I chose them and they chose me. We're a family. And family doesn't give up on each other. Judge Cho's expression softened slightly. The girls have expressed a strong desire to remain with you. Their therapist reports significant progress in your care. Raymond Carter's parental rights have been terminated due to abuse and abandonment. She paused. I'm granting you full custody, Mr. Rivera. Make sure those girls know they're home. The adoption was finalized 6 months later. Marcus stood in front of Judge Cho again, this time with all 3 of his daughters beside him. Jade and Jasmine wore matching blue dresses. Sophia, now 5, was barely containing her excitement. By the power vested in me, Judge Cho said, a rare smile on her face, I officially declare Jade Carter and Jasmine Carter to be Jade Rivera and Jasmine Rivera, beloved daughters of Marcus Rivera. Sophia cheered so loudly the bailiff laughed. Jade and Jasmine cried, but for the first time, they were happy tears. That evening, Marcus gathered all 3 girls in the living room. He'd been planning this moment for weeks. I want to tell you something, he said, pulling out an old photo album. About your mom, Isabel. Jade and Jasmine leaned in, hungry for any information about the mother they'd lost. I loved her very much, Marcus said simply. We were young, too young probably, but she was kind and funny and so smart. When she left, I was heartbroken. I looked for her for months, but I never knew. His voice caught. I never knew she was pregnant with you too. I never knew I had daughters. Why did she leave? Jade asked quietly. I don't know for sure, but I think she was scared. We were both 19. We didn't have money or education or any kind of plan. I think she was trying to protect everyone. Marcus looked at both girls. She was wrong not to tell me. You deserved to have your father in your lives from the beginning. But I don't think she was trying to hurt anyone. I think she was just very young and very scared. Do you think she'd be happy? Jasmine whispered. That we're with you now? Marcus's eyes filled with tears. I think she'd be relieved beyond measure that her daughters are safe, loved, and home where they belong. Sophia, who'd been patient for all of 30 seconds, burst out. Can we do our surprise now? Marcus laughed. Yes, we can do the surprise. The girls led Marcus out to the backyard where they'd been working in secret for weeks. In the corner, they'd created a small memorial garden. Flowers, a bench, and a beautiful stone marker. In loving memory of Isabel Carter, beloved mother, friend, daughter forever in our hearts. Jade and Jasmine placed their lockets on the stone, open to show both photos, their mother and their father, together again in memory. We wanted her to see we're okay now, Jade explained. That we found our way home. Marcus pulled all 3 girls close, overwhelmed. She knows, he said. Wherever she is, she knows. The house on Maple Street was chaos. 3 girls racing around, hanging stockings, arguing about cookie decorations. Marcus stood in the kitchen, rolling dough and laughing at Sophia's very serious instructions about the correct sprinkle-to-frosting ratio. Mrs. Kim stopped by with her usual contributions. Kimchi, which the girls had learned to love, and her famous Christmas cookies. "Look at this family," she said to Marcus, watching the girls. "A year ago you were a single father of one. Now look. Now I'm a single father of three," Marcus said, but he was smiling. "It's terrifying and exhausting and the best thing that ever happened to me." Jade appeared at his elbow. "Dad, can we watch a movie after dinner?" "Dad." She said it so naturally now, like she'd been saying it her whole life. "Absolutely. You girls pick." That night, after the movie and cookies and the traditional reading of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," Marcus tucked each girl into bed. When he reached Jade and Jasmine's room, they'd chosen to share, even though they could have separate rooms. He found them looking at old photo albums, pictures from the past year. "Dad," Jasmine said, and that word still made his heart swell every time. "Do you ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't stopped that night? If you'd driven past?" Marcus sat on the edge of their bed. "I think about it all the time, and then I thank God that I stopped, that I saw you, that we found each other. We're really lucky," Jade said softly. "We lost our mom. Uncle Ray was awful. We were sleeping behind a dumpster on the coldest night of the year. But somehow we ended up here with you." "I'm the lucky one," Marcus said firmly. "I got a second chance to be a father to my daughters. Not many men get that gift." "We love you," Jasmine whispered. "I love you too. Both of you. So much." As Marcus left their room and checked on Sophia, already fast asleep, surrounded by stuffed animals, he paused in the hallway. On the wall was a new family photo taken just last week. All four of them laughing, arms around each other, completely and perfectly whole. A year ago, three girls had been sleeping behind a dumpster on Christmas Eve, wearing lockets that held the only connection to their parents. Tonight they were safe, warm, loved, and home. Sometimes Marcus thought the greatest miracles don't look like miracles at first. Sometimes they look like tragedy, abandoned children, missed chances, years of lost time. But if you look closer, if you choose to see, you find the truth. That love has a way of surviving impossible odds. That family isn't always about blood or biology or conventional paths. Sometimes family is about a cold night, a split-second decision to stop and look, and the choice over and over again to love when it would be easier to walk away. Marcus smiled, turned off the hall light, and went to bed. Tomorrow was Christmas, and his three daughters would wake up knowing, finally and forever, that they were wanted, cherished, and home. Sometimes the family you're meant to have finds you in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes the greatest love stories are about second chances, lost time found again, and the simple choice to stop when everyone else drives past. Never underestimate the power of one moment of compassion. It might just change everything.